Hello, I'm Mark Scholero, the owner of MS Classic Cars. Today I'm sitting behind the wheel of an absolutely awesome 1991 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 with 21,700 original miles. I have nicknamed this vehicle the Ultimate Z28. The history of third generation Camaros. I've been a huge fan of these cars ever since I was in high school. These were the cars that I owned back in the day. Scary to think of that now, that these are the cars that I actually grew up with. I've had many beautiful third generation Camaros over the years. If you haven't seen those cars, please check them out on our website at msclassiccars.com. You can find them on the sold page. When we're talking about the 91 and 1992 Z28 body style, they went through kind of a revamp where General Motors got rid of the Iroc-Z, which was from 1985 to 1990, and they actually came out with this car here for the next 2 years. And that kind of ended the third generation series. They gave this car kind of a facelift, if you will. They changed a lot of the body moldings. The hood, they added the rear spoiler. I put some of the changes that were made within our description. They also kept the interior from the 1990 Iroc, which had the airbag and so forth, and this new redesigned dash. So the interior is actually very similar. Most of the changes were to the exterior. The one thing about these cars that I personally did not like from the factory, I know a lot of people agree with me on different forums, and just being a third gen enthusiast all these years, would also agree that the factory wheels that replaced the Iroc-Z wheel, I think really hurt the look of this car. This particular car, of course, when I acquired it, it had those wheels, and again, we changed them, and there's been some other slight improvements made to this car, and that's why I called it the Ultimate Z28. So talking about this particular car first, this car does have some original documentation. Of course, it has the original window sticker, which clearly shows that the car was sold new in Kentucky. I can pull this out here. It's been laminated in plastic. It spent its entire life in Kentucky until 2014 when it found its way to Pennsylvania. It actually went to a collector in Pennsylvania. I acquired the car from him. So it does have great ownership history. This particular car was ordered bright red, which is a great color. It has the custom cloth bucket seats. It's got a great contrasting color to the exterior, combination of both black and red. It looks really sharp. This particular vehicle had the Z28 preferred equipment group, which include air conditioning. It had the upgraded sound system, power windows, power driver's seat, power door locks. It had electric speed control. It had the power release in the hatch area. It had dual mirrors and so forth. This particular car has the automatic with overdrive transmission. Most importantly, the two things that make this vehicle unique: they built a total of 12,452 Z28s in 1991. Only 6,080 of those vehicles that were built had what they referred to as the BL2 option, which was the 5.7 liter T.P.I V8 V8. That was the engine that everybody wanted. It was the most desirable at the time, and it still is today. So from a collectability standpoint, this car has exactly what everybody wants: the right color and the right drivetrain. Not only does it have that engine, but it also has the performance rear axle ratio as well. So again, all that is documented on the window sticker. It even has a rear window defroster as part of the optional group. So all of that is, again, documented on here. When we got the car, like we do with all the cars at MS Classic Cars, I wanted to completely service it. Sometimes people think that vehicles from the 80s and 90s, they don't require service work because they're not that old. But if you think about it, these cars are definitely getting up there in age, and they do require service work. So this particular car, it really started from top to bottom. I sent the vehicle to MJM Automotive Solutions, and that business actually is owned by my new service manager and shop foreman, Michael Marcella. We had actually brought this car to his operation when he was in the midst of closing to come join our team. He came with Paul Machado as well. They ran this great business for many, many years, but if you've been following our website, you know that these two guys now work for me. So Mike's probably at home at some point watching this video with his wife, Sophie. Give a shout out to both you guys. Super proud to have Mike and Paul join the team here. So you will see all the work that we actually did to this vehicle. Everything is spelled out here. We invested almost $5,000 into this vehicle. So you can be rest assured that this car is ready to rock and roll. It's absolutely a super cool car. Some of the other information in this binder, we always create new binders at MS Classic Cars for every vehicle we sell. They go in new plastic sleeves. I put everything in order. This vehicle does have a clean Car Fax report. It details all of the ownership history, the miles, and everything else. And then, of course, some original documentation. It does have this pre-delivery inspection procedure form, which was at the dealership. It shows the VIN number and that they went over the vehicle when it was new. And then this original brochure was ordered from this company, PJ's Auto Literature, which is also included in the car as well. So that's the documentation it has. Of course, it does have the owner's manuals. All this, by the way, is pictured within our photo gallery of our listing, but it has all the original business cards, plastic key, all the owner's manuals, and so forth. This is actually the owner's manual for the radio that we install, which I'll get into in a second. And it also has the original cassette that came with the car, going over all the options and features, and then the remote control again for the radio. So let me start with the exterior first on this vehicle. The outside of this vehicle retains 100% of its original paint. I paint metered this vehicle with an electronic paint meter. It passed with flying colors, so you can be rest assured that this vehicle has never been painted before, which is a huge plus. The body's in beautiful condition. It does have some chips, on the front end, on the hood, a few here and there that were touched up over the years. Nothing to be concerned about. I just want to mention that again. This is an original car, so as any vehicle from the 80s or 90s, you're going to have some imperfections. So again, if anybody cares enough about those, I could do a video or we could do something to highlight every little imperfection. But the body's in beautiful condition, the paint's in beautiful condition. We did a really nice job at MS Classic Cars detailing this vehicle, so it looks really, really sharp. Getting back to the wheels, we ordered, when it was at Mike's place, we made the decision to change the wheels. The original wheels and tires are pictured in our description. They are included, but we changed them and we went from the 16-inch wheel to a 17-inch wheel. They're made by American Racing equipment. They're actually kind of a look-alike of the original Iroc-Z wheel. It totally changed the look of this particular car. It looks absolutely awesome. The wheels that we purchased are wrapped with expensive tires. We went all out on the tires. They're actually a Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tire, so they really, really grip the road well. They fit this car like a glove, so I couldn't be any happier with the way the wheels and tires look. Everything on the exterior of this vehicle is original. It's in beautiful condition, including all the glass, all of the trim work, all the lenses, all the lights, the emblems, and so forth. The windows were tinted. They're lightly tinted, but they look really nice. I'm referring to the door glass and also the rear hatch glass as well. It gives it that kind of stealth look with the red and black. It just all contrasts very nicely. Getting into the interior of this vehicle, it's as equally as nice on the inside. It is out on the outside. Everything in this interior is in absolutely beautiful condition. One thing that we did is we replaced the headliner. That was kind of a big task when Mike had the vehicle, because the headliner was drooping. Very common with vehicles from this generation that the glue eventually just becomes old and it doesn't hold and the headliner starts to droop. It sounds easy to repair it, but it's not. So we invested kind of a small fortune into redoing all this, but Mike did a beautiful, beautiful job. Everything in this interior is in working order. The dash is like new. It's free of any cracks. The dashboard is new. The console's new. All the seats look new. The door panels, the carpeting. It still retains the original red carpeted floor mats. I really can't say enough about the interior. And again, it has 21,700 original miles. One thing that we did, besides servicing the entire vehicle, the air conditioning blows ice cold now. Everything again is in working order. Is we decided to change the stereo. The stereo that was in the car was already an upgraded stereo. I don't know where the original radio went years and years ago. They had it connected to the original speakers, which were starting to kind of come apart and decay and so forth. So we made the decision to replace the other radio that was in the car with this new modern Sony stereo, which has got all the new modern technology like Bluetooth and so forth. And we replaced the speakers in the front and back with Pioneers. Again, we did that within our description. So when you get into the interior, the sound system now is much better than it was from the factory. Again, the outside is much better than what it was from the factory because of the wheel selection and the fact that we tinted the windows. So you can kind of see where I'm going on this Ultimate Z28 theme. Getting into the engine bay. The engine compartment is absolutely beautiful. Everything is factory correct in the engine bay, with the exception of a few things that I'll mention in a minute. It still has a lot of the original factory paint marks. It's got all the original factory tags. The guys did a great job cleaning the engine bay. It looks absolutely beautiful. Can't say enough about it. Once again, the car is powered by the original BL2 option, which is the 5.7 T.P.I. 350 V8. Only 6,080 cars were built with this drivetrain. It is an awesome, awesome drivetrain, especially when you get behind the wheel, get this car on the open road. You totally can tell the difference in the power and torque between this and the 305 engine. So talking about the upgrades, during the time of ownership with the people who had it in Kentucky, they did a few upgrades, including a Hypertech computer module chip, which is basically something that changes the power curve to give the car a little bit more performance. Some people claim that it adds 10, 15, 20 horsepower, but really what it does is just make the car more responsive. It makes it more user-friendly throughout the entire power curve, so it's a cool little addition. They also had to change the thermostat to a 160-degree thermostat when they changed the chip. And the other thing that they did is they added underdrive pulleys. So again, very simple changes, all things that somebody could change down the road if they decide to. The engine is coupled again to this automatic transmission with overdrive, so it's a great car to drive on the highway. The engine breathes through a Flowmaster exhaust system. They got rid of the catalytic converters, so it breathes really freely. It sounds super nice. You'll hear in a minute when I start it and give it a few revs that it's got a great sound to it. That's really the only custom features that were done to this car. We're talking just a chip, we're talking pulleys, we're talking an exhaust, we're talking wheels, we're talking tinted windows, but it's not so overdone that it becomes a custom car. This is a vehicle that somebody who's a collector, an investor can buy, they can enjoy, and if they ever decide to take the car back to its original state, It's a really simple task to do. But again, that's why I nicknamed it the Ultimate Z28. Getting into the undercarriage, you will see within all of our photos that the undercarriage is all factory correct. It has all the original primer with the red overspray. You'll see paint marks, you'll see factory tags. All of that stuff is original. One thing with the undercarriage that we did when we removed the original wheels and tires, we kind of cleaned up the brakes a little bit and we painted the calipers black so they would look really presentable through these new wheels. That's really the only thing that we did to the undercarriage. So that's kind of the entire presentation of this vehicle. These are non-rehearsed vehicles that I do with all the cars at MS Classic Cars. So hopefully I didn't forget anything that was important. I think I went over it in pretty good detail. Remember, you can check out this entire vehicle and our description at msclassiccars.com. The video will be on there, all the photos will be on there, pictures of all the documentation. We're the only classic car dealership in the country who services every vehicle we sell. We document that with an invoice. We do extremely high-end detail work. When you buy a car here, you get what you get and you get what you see. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it right now. Listen to how beautiful it runs. Turn the key, it fires right up. It sounds super, super nice out that exhaust. Again, this car is in excellent, excellent condition. Whoever buys it's gonna have a blast with it.